Manatees, also known as sea cows, are large, slow-moving animals that live in the rivers and marshy coastal areas of West Africa, the Amazon, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. Manatees are aquatic mammals that belong to a group of animals called Sirenia. The living Sirenians consist of 3 species of manatees and 1 species of dugong. Dugong and manatees look quite alike. They're similar in size, color, and shape. Both have flexible flippers for forelimbs, and one way to tell them apart is by the shapes of their tails. Manatees have broad, rounded tail, and where dugongs have fluke tail, a bit like whale's tail. Manatees are aquatic mammals, which means that although they never leave the water where they live, they must come to the surface every 3 minutes to breathe air. Manatees nurse their young with milk from mammary glands. Manatees have 2 nipples, one under each armpit. They may not look very hairy, but manatees have whisker-like hairs all over their bodies that help them sense movement in the water and feel different textures. Manatees are herbivores, meaning they eat plants. They graze on underwater plants like seagrasses and algae for up to 8 hours a day, grabbing the plants and pulling them into their mouth with their prehensile upper lip. They need to eat a lot of food to fuel their huge bodies. Manatees can be as heavy as 1,200 pounds or 550 kilograms and regularly reach length of 10 feet or 3 meters. That's as big as small whale. Something interesting about manatees is that they grow new teeth all the time. The seagrass and aquatic plants that manatees eat are frequently covered in sand, which wears down their teeth. Once a worn tooth falls out, a new tooth moves forward to take its place, and another tooth begins growing in the back of their mouth. That's why it's called marshing molars. Living the slow life in cozy, sunny waters, manatees face a unique challenge hosting a garden party of algae, barnacles, and other hitchhikers on their wrinkly skin with no spa day in sight. Cleaner fish act as personal spa attendants for manatees, feeding on algae and parasites to the first manatee's appearance. Manatees can only survive in warm waters. They don't have blubber. Remember, big doesn't always mean fat. Long time ago, sailors might have mistaken manatees for mermaid. But guess why? When the explorer Christopher Columbus visited the New World in 1493, he reported seeing mermaids in the warm coastal waters, although according to him, these mermaids were not half as beautiful as they are painted. Now, if you are ever lucky enough to spot a manatee in real life, you will know you're not looking at a mermaid, but a toothy relative of elephants that swims super gracefully. Manatees have no natural predators and could live up to 60 years, but they are vulnerable to extinction, and the risks faced by manatees are collision with boats and habitat loss. This is how humans are trying to help manatees to live up to 60 years. Remember, sea cows are vulnerable to extinction. In Florida, there is a law that you can look but don't touch manatees. Also, don't feed manatees. If manatees become accustomed to being around people, they can alter their behavior in the wild, which is very, very dangerous for them. The manatee is protected under federal law by the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and by the Endangered Species Act of 1973, which makes it illegal to harass, hunt, capture, or kill any marine mammal. Okay, let's do the summary, guys. Manatees, also known as sea cows, are the only vegetarian marine mammal found in warm coastal waters. Manatees can be distinguished from dugongs by their broad, rounded tails. And manatees have 2 hidden nipples under each armpit, serving as a unique feature for feeding their babies. Manatees grow teeth all the time. That's why it is termed as marshing molars. Manatees are very big animals and can be heavy as 500 kilograms. They do not have blubber to protect them from cold temperatures. They live only in warm water. Manatees are vulnerable to extinction due to habitat loss and collision with boats. And manatees may not be the mythical mermaid sailors once mistook them for, but the sea cow is no less unique and worthy of attention and protection.